The steady hum of the city filled the air as rain drizzled softly against the windows of a cozy, upscale restaurant. Inside, the warm glow of chandeliers bathed the tables in golden light, casting flickering reflections against the polished glassware. Emma Harper, a young waitress with weary eyes and a hopeful heart, moved swiftly between tables, balancing plates and forced smiles. She had learned to navigate life's hardships with quiet resilience. Her mother had worked tirelessly to raise her alone, sacrificing her own dreams to ensure Emma had a future. But when illness struck, those sacrifices had multiplied tenfold. Now, Emma was the sole provider, working double shifts just to cover her mother's medical bills. Every tip, every dollar, was another chance to keep her mother's hope alive. Tonight was no different. The restaurant buzzed with conversations and clinking cutlery. Among the patrons was an imposing figure seated near the large bay window. His presence commanded the room effortlessly, Alexander Grayson, the billionaire CEO of one of the largest tech conglomerates in the country. Emma recognized him instantly. He was always in the headlines, a man of immense power and wealth, often depicted as ruthless in business. Yet, as he sat alone, sipping his scotch, there was a quiet solemnity about him, a stark contrast to the image the media portrayed. Taking a deep breath, she approached his table, notebook in hand. "Good evening, sir. What can I get for you tonight?" Alexander glanced up, his piercing blue eyes locking onto hers. For a moment, something unreadable flickered in his gaze, but it was gone as quickly as it came. He ordered a simple meal, nothing extravagant, and as she turned to leave, he spoke again. "Have we met before?" Emma hesitated, her brow furrowing. "I don't think so, sir." He nodded, yet his eyes lingered on her face, as if searching for something. Shaking off the odd encounter, Emma went back to work, attending to other tables. But when she returned to deliver his food, something unexpected happened. Alexander had taken out his wallet, and as he absent-mindedly thumbed through its contents, a small photograph slipped out and landed on the table. Emma's heart stopped. Her mother's face stared back at her. The world around her faded into a dull hum. Hands trembling, she picked up the photograph and turned to the man who now looked just as shocked as she felt. "Sir, why is my mother's picture in your wallet?" Alexander exhaled sharply, his expression unreadable. He took the photograph gently from her hands, his fingers lingering on its worn edges. When he finally spoke, his voice was thick with emotion. "Because she once saved my life." Emma blinked, disbelief crashing over her. "What?" He gestured for her to sit. With hesitant steps, she slid into the chair opposite him, heart pounding. "I was just a kid," Alexander began, eyes distant with memory. "My family had nothing. My father left before I was born, and my mother was struggling to put food on the table. We were evicted, homeless for months. I was sick, burning up with fever, lying on a bench in a rundown neighborhood." He swallowed hard. "Then she came. Your mother." Emma's breath hitched. "She took me in. She had barely enough for herself, but she gave me food, warmth, and care. She saved my life. I stayed with her for weeks until she found a shelter that could help. She told me to be strong, to never give up. I promised her I wouldn't." He smiled faintly. "I never saw her again, but I kept this photo all these years, to remind me of the kindness that changed everything." Emma's eyes blurred with tears. Her mother had always been selfless, always helping others, but she had never mentioned this story. "My mother, she's sick now," Emma whispered. "She doesn't even know if she'll make it." Alexander leaned forward, his expression firm. "She saved my life. Now, let me save hers." Emma stared, unable to comprehend his words until he pulled out a checkbook. "I'll cover every medical bill, every treatment she needs." Tears streamed down Emma's face as she shook her head in disbelief. I can't accept this." "Yes, you can." His voice was gentle but resolute. You said she's sick. She doesn't deserve to struggle alone. You don't deserve to struggle alone. The dam of emotions broke, and Emma let out a soft sob, covering her mouth. Gratitude, relief, and an overwhelming sense of fate washed over her. That night, when she returned home and told her mother what had happened, her mother's eyes filled with tears. "He was that little boy," she whispered, voice trembling. "I always wondered what became of him." A month later, Emma sat beside her mother in a private hospital suite, holding her hand as she recovered after life-saving treatment. Alexander visited often, ensuring she had the best care possible. But more than that, he became a friend, someone who reminded them that kindness had a way of coming full circle. As Emma watched her mother smile, healthier than she had been in years, she realized something profound: love, kindness, and selflessness were the greatest currencies in life. And sometimes, the smallest act of compassion could change everything. It had saved Alexander once. And now, it had saved them.